J.J. Watt. Pass is caught. Diggs! Side the hole! He broke his ankles. Lightning strike from McCaffrey.
We're having fun. We get to have fun here. This is what it's all about.
Can you smell it in the air? Do you feel it around you? The 2025-2026 NFL season has ended. Do you feel it? The offseason is here, people. It probably snuck up on you like way too fast, way faster than you anticipated, way faster than you wanted it to. But it's here. It started. It is Thursday morning, February 12th. Happy Thursday. Good morning to you, whether you're listening in the morning or watching in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever it is. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome into the Swank Tank. Welcome into the show. You may be wondering right off the rip, okay, yeah, it's the offseason, Swank, we get it. What are you possibly going to talk about? Guys, this is the NFL. There is no, quote, offseason, especially not here at the Swank Tank. We have weekly episodes every Thursday morning out for you to enjoy. We got new setups coming in. We're working on getting new microphones, potentially higher production, higher graphics, higher quality things coming your way to this show. I still didn't answer the question, what could we possibly be talking about today on the show? I'll tell you what, we're going to do a really quick Super Bowl recap, like 5 minutes tops. And then we're doing the 2025-2026 Swank Tank Awards. That still doesn't answer the question, what are we talking about here? I'm going to give you my most exciting player from the 25-26 season to watch, most surprising offensive and defensive players, the best game, the worst game, the best play, the worst play from the 2025-2026 NFL season. We're breaking it all down, and I'm giving it to you. So it's an award show, type of superlative show. No, I'm not going to give you my MVP for the season, my defensive player of the year for the season. No, because the voters that actually vote on that stuff, to me, got it right. Should have been Stafford. Should have been Myles Garrett. Should have been McCaffrey, etc. Right? This is just Swank Tank. We get to do things how we want to here. And on this show, the first episode of the offseason here, it's a quick Super Bowl recap. And then it's the 2025-2026 Swank Tank Awards. We're going to have some fun with it. A little bit more of a casual episode, but very much still an off-season episode. If you are not already, make sure to tap in on all the socials at the Swank Tank. Getting close to 1,000 on Instagram still, 1,000 followers. On YouTube, we're getting close to that 400 subscribers. The goal is 500 real soon. Tap in on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at the Swank Tank. On Spotify, we're at the Swank Tank, of course. Whether you're watching or listening, appreciate you. All right, without further ado, let's do a quick Super Bowl recap, and then we'll get into the awards. Let's do it. The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl 60 champions. They defeat the New England Patriots 29-13. Sam Darnold, who I bet on to win MVP, didn't quite win that award, or didn't win that trophy, I should say, won the one that matters much more. Sam Darnold went 19 of 38, 202 passing yards, and 1 touchdown in Super Bowl 60. Drake May on the other side, 27 of 43, 295 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 1 fumble. Drake May had 3 total turnovers in Super Bowl 60. Something else Drake May did, and I made a video about this as well. He threw for the most yards in one singular quarter in NFL Super Bowl history. Yeah, it was garbage time. Yeah, it was like 230 something yards, whatever it was. It was in the fourth quarter. Most passing yards by a quarterback in a singular Super Bowl quarter ever. He did that. He also took the L by 16 points and had 3 turnovers. Let's be fair here. That offensive line was a struggle throughout the playoffs for the Patriots, and it showed up in Super Bowl 60 in a major way. Drake May, before the Super Bowl, in their 3 playoff games, had been sacked 15 times. That's an issue within itself. Then you go play a Seattle defense who has a top 5 defensive front, top 5 rushing game, top 10 overall unit. Screw that. Top 5 overall unit. Especially that front, again, against that O-line, you're going to run into some major issues. That's what happened. Rookie left tackle Will Campbell got worked. Yes, he was battling an injury. He said he had that injury. He claimed it was not an excuse for his performance. It's a little excuse, just a bit. He got cooked. I still believe in him. He's a young kid in the Super Bowl, starting from the get-go. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot of talent. He's still got a lot to learn. That offensive line got worked, and Drake May, reaped the unfortunate consequences from New England's major issue, and that was offensive line. And that was known throughout the playoffs. Kenneth Walker, your Super Bowl 60 MVP, 27 carries, 161 total yards through the air and on the ground. The Patriots, they had 79 total rushing yards in this game. That ties in to the offensive line production and consistency as well. Drake May led New England with 37 rushing yards. If I tell you Drake May leads New England's rushing game with 37 rushing yards last week before the Bowl, you tell me New England loses. Almost 100%, right? There it is. May was sacked 6 times. So he was sacked 15 times in the playoffs. Before this game, he was sacked 6 times in Super Bowl 60 for a total of 43 yards lost. I mean, it's purely unacceptable in this type of game, right? Not only the Super Bowl, where the lights are brightest and it's the biggest stage in the entire United States, obviously, right? But especially given the matchup, completely unacceptable, right? You know what Seattle was going to do. You know that Seattle's defensive front was so strong. At some point, it's like you can only scheme so much, right? Given what New England was working with on that offensive front. Their first half drive chart for New England. Ready for it? Punt, 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 end of half. New England's first half drive chart was 5 punts and end of half. Okay, doesn't end there. Let's move into the third quarter. Punt, punt, punt. Oh, not a punt. Oh, it's a fumble. It's a fumble. Yep. Just can't have it. And look, they came out flat. The offensive line had issues. Drake May, ball security was an issue as well. He was forcing the ball down the field. He had a hurt shoulder. The clock struck midnight for New England. I had been claiming, and I still believe this, that New England deserved to be there. They did. I thought they were good enough to be there. Some people didn't think so. Even after this game, I still think New England deserved to be there. Some people feel otherwise. And I'm sure they're smiling, they're grinning from ear to ear looking at this result. But regardless of the outcome, I still thought New England deserved to be there. Did they get worked? Yes. 100%. They still deserve to be there. Who else deserved something major? Seattle. And they not only deserved, but still deserve a lot of credit. A lot of credit. McDonald over there, Darnold getting his first ring, from seeing ghosts to lifting up the Super Bowl trophy. I mean, just a phenomenal story for Sam Darnold. And that defense under McDonald was flying and applying ultra pressure. I mean, Josh McDaniels had no idea what to do. Obviously, again, we've talked about it a lot now. It starts with the offensive line. When you can't protect the quarterback and that running defense is so strong, you're screwed. No matter which way you look at it. Even if your defense causes 3 or 4 turnovers. It wasn't going to matter. Oh, by the way, Seattle, you had no turnovers again. Seattle did not turn the ball over offensively in any of their playoff games. Not once. Not once. I mean, it's truly impressive. In their 3 losses in the regular season, Seattle turned the ball over 8 times. 8 times in those 3 games. Throughout their 3 games in the playoffs, including the Super Bowl, 0 turnovers. I mean, that's really as simple as it gets. That's really what it boils down to, along with the defense being so good. Even though the score was 9-0 at halftime, Seattle, it was over at halftime. Once they walked into the locker room at halftime, I said this game was over. I'm sure 80% of you out there listening or watching did the same thing I did. You knew New England after that half. I mean, what? They were just going to pull a bunny out of the hat? Pull some magic out of thin air? I mean, it was over. You could feel it. You could tell. The body language, right? There was no momentum, right? The offensive line struggles. I mean, you knew it was over. You knew. At least I knew. The biggest thing, obviously, was Seattle not turning the ball over, Right. We said that was our main key for Seattle. We got some backlash on that saying, duh, not everybody wants to not turn the ball over. That's everybody's game plan. For Seattle specifically, it was the most important thing in the world. Because they've been doing it all playoffs. Look at their success. Throughout the regular season, when they struggled heavily, what was their issue? Turning the ball over. You had teams throughout the regular season who could turn the ball over, aka the Bills, and make up for it in most part. Didn't happen in the playoffs, but in most part, right? Other teams can have 1 or 2 turnovers and make up for it. Seattle's kryptonite all year long have been turnovers. So it was more important than anybody or anything for them not to turn the ball over. Of course you don't want to turn the ball over ever. That's a given. I know that. But Seattle's main key, the one thing, if they for sure wanted to win, to do, was not turn the ball over. For a lot of other teams, you don't necessarily have to say that. Like for the Bills in the regular season, they could turn the ball over 3 times and still win the game. Seattle, in their 3 losses in the regular season, turned the ball over 8 times. So they did exactly what I predicted and I thought they needed to do. Scratch that. I didn't predict that. I actually thought Darnold would have 1 turnover, but I did say that their major key in if they did this, they would win 100%, was not turn the ball over. And look what happened. Look at the result. It's as simple as that. Kudos to everybody in that organization. Just awesome. Just an amazing story. Well-deserved. They were the best team, clearly, in the playoffs, clearly in the NFC. And it's just well-deserved. Well-deserved. Can't believe the season's over, but a well-deserved Super Bowl 60 win for Seattle and for Sam Darnold and for Kenneth Walker and for McDonald and for the whole organization. Kubiak getting his ring before he goes over to the Raiders. Kudos, kudos, kudos to everybody in Seattle. What a way to end the season. Can't believe it's over. I really can't. We started this episode by, referencing that. Did it feel like the offseason? Does it feel like the offseason? Were you ready for it? I really wasn't. I'm still not. But here we are helping you get through it. Not only get through it, but enjoy it. Right? It's hard to enjoy an offseason in your favorite sport, especially the NFL, as it dominates the United States. It dominates, everybody's love for any sport out there, majoritively in the United States. People say, I'm a fan of X. It could be NBA, it could be MLB. In America, a lot of those people are saying NFL. And we don't want you just to get through the offseason. We want you to enjoy the offseason. So again, daily content here at the Swank Tank. Go follow on all the socials at the Swank Tank. Weekly episodes every Thursday morning. You don't want to miss it. We got free agency coming up here in about a month. We got the draft coming up in 2 months. We've got a lot of things we can talk about and dive into. Next week will be a little bit more probably free agent heavy-ish. Maybe some quarterback talk. Maybe some, way too early predictions, way too early ratings, if you will. Lots to come your way this offseason. And we hope you enjoy it. Not only go through it, but enjoy the offseason as well. All right, let's have some fun now. Keep it nice and casual for this episode. Let's go into our 2025-2026 NFL season Swank Tank Awards. Let's do it. Our first award of the 25-26 NFL season here at the Swank Tank. It is the Most Fun Player to Watch Award. It is none other, and we're starting off with a somewhat easy one, somewhat simple one, than Josh Allen. Josh Allen wins the Swank Tank Award for the most fun player to watch this season. 4,247 total yards. These are regular season stats, by the way. 4,247 total yards in the regular season. 39 total touchdowns in the regular season. The comeback versus Baltimore in week 1. The wild New England games. By the way, that's now one of the best rivalries in football. Josh Allen, Drake May, 100%. Especially going into the next year, one of the best. The insane playoff ending versus Denver. Josh Allen is always a guy you don't want to take your eyes off of. Pause. That was a little sus. But you know what I mean. Josh Allen's a guy you don't want to miss a single play that happens with Josh, because not only can he throw it 60 yards over your head, he can run right by you. Not only can he run right by you, he can truck you over. Not only can he truck you over, he can literally throw it right by you as well, right? Not only over your head, but beside you. This man is almost Superman. And for the Buffalo Bills in 2025, 2026, he was Superman. This man almost carried an organization to an AFC Championship game they quite honestly had no business even competing for, right? We touched all season long about, even before the season started, about I didn't think the Bills reloaded enough. That was clear, especially at wide receiver, especially given like what happened with Keon Coleman and their injuries later in the season. I mean, Josh Allen was literally like put the entire organization on his back, not just the offense, the entire organization of the Buffalo Bills on his back. And yeah, they came up short yet again, but I mean, this was by far the most fun player to watch because of not only what he does on the field, but also off the field. Like he's a star, guys. I mean, this is a MVP. This is a star, and he's just so damn fun to watch because he knows, especially this past year, like we just referenced, that without him, this organization would be in shambles. He knows on offensively and organization-wide, he had to play his very best on every single play for this team to succeed, for this team to make the playoffs, for this team to get past, the wild card round, get into the divisional round, and almost the AFC Championship game. So Josh Allen knew what he had to do, which made him absolutely, as he is every year, so fun to watch. Josh wins that award. He wins it, the most fun player to watch of the 25-26 NFL season. All right, next award, something a little bit different. The best player with the first letter of last name starting with S. I'll repeat that for you just in case you're like, what is this dude even talking about? Best player with the first letter of their last name starting with S. Welcome into the Swank Tank. We're having some fun over here. So, the award, last name starts with S. Best player from 25-26 season. It is indeed Jackson Smith-Njigba. 25-26 season receptions, 136 catches on the year, 1,992 total receiving yards, 12 touchdowns on the year for JSN. He is the man. He is the man. He won Offensive Player of the Year for a reason. My God, this guy could have been chosen as the most fun player to watch in the 25-26 season. JSN, I mean, did you see his route tree? I saw this, I think, on Twitter the other day, maybe even today. It was like a work of art. It was beautiful. Clint Kubiak and JSN was a lethal 1-2 punch. A lethal combination together. And they utilized him in a major way. In the Super Bowl, of course, he got a little dinged up. Didn't have a major impact. I mean, still was taking on coverage. Still was guarded by Christian Gonzalez. JSN all year long was putting up essentially video game numbers. He got close to breaking the all-time record for receiving yards in a season, in the regular season, right? It's clear JSN, is one of the best players currently in the NFL. He was by far the best player with the last name starting with S. Got to have some fun with it. JSN wins that award. Next up, best player with excuse me, I'm going to rephrase here. I'm getting too worked up here. Too excited. Let me take a breath. Best player with the first letter of their last name starting with T. This is the Swank Tank. This is the Tank Award. Well, that's kind of misleading, but you get where I'm going with this. Best player in the 25-26 season. Last name starting with the letter T. Swank Tank. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, you have won that award here at the Swank Tank for the 25-26 season. Let's break down his stats from the year. Rush attempts, first in the NFL. Rushing yards, third in the NFL with 1,585 rushing yards. Rushing touchdowns, 18 on the season. That was best in the NFL. Total touchdowns, also best in the NFL with 20. So he led the league this year in rush attempts, rushing touchdowns, and total touchdowns. Then was third with rushing yards. J-Tay, all day J-Tay. That Colts collapsed, by the way, when Danny Dimes got hurt. It was sad to see. That wasn't honestly, it was talked about for sure. Maybe it was downplayed given their injury to Daniel Jones. But, they ended the year with a losing record, guys. Right? Pretty sure they finished 8-9. If I'm not mistaken. Implosion at the end of the season. Jonathan Taylor, though, did not implode. If anything, he exploded. And this man, we kind of thought, let me rephrase. I somewhat thought that Obviously, he would still be a really good back, but he was slowing down just a little bit. How would that offense look with Daniel Jones, at the helm? Got rookie Tyler Warren, talented player, but rookie Tyler Warren nonetheless. Yeah, you got Downs, you got Pittman. I mean, that's not even a top 10 1-2 punch. How would this Colts offense look in 2025? And throughout the first 8 weeks, it was humming. It was almost perfect. Nearly perfect. A.D. Mitchell doesn't drop that ball short of the goal line against the Rams. They were, outside of that, they were still being talked about as one of the best teams in the NFL through the first 8 weeks of the season. Jonathan Taylor was a big reason and a big part of those conversations. Jonathan Taylor wins the award, best player with the first letter of the last name, starting with T. Swank Tank. J-Tay. All day J-Tay. What a season for him. I mean, starting in the 26th season, one, Daniel Jones is a free agent. Two, he won't be healthy for the start of the year, even if he resigns. So Taylor is going to be in for a large workload from snap one of 2026. And his fantasy value, I'm sure, will reflect that 100%. All right, it's time to crank it up a little bit now. Time to crank it up. Let me ask you this before we get into this award. What offensive player surprised you the most in the 2025-2026 NFL season? Which player surprised you the most? Let me know. Drop your answer. And so our surprise standout offensive player. Here's some honorable mentions before I name who it is. Daniel Jones definitely has to be mentioned. Obviously didn't finish the season, missed the last, 6 games of the year due to the torn Achilles. But he's an honorable mention, 100%. Big bounce back here for Danny Dimes. Hopefully he can come back healthier than he even was before, if that's possible. Second half, Trevor Lawrence, also an honorable mention. I mean, he was lights out. He was an MVP candidate the back end of the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Second half, Michael Wilson, low-key, dark horse here. He's not the pick, but Michael Wilson's second half of the season was ridiculous. With Marvin Harrison, Maserati Marv being a little dinged up, kind of in and out of the lineup for the last 8 weeks for the Cardinals. With not much of a running game going on, James Conner out for season, right? They really leaned on Michael Wilson in the passing game. He went ballistic for the last 8 games of the year. Honorable mention there as well. Overall, though, the guy that I didn't really have on my radar coming into the season that would be really an impact player really took a big step forward with this team and with this organization. My 2025-2026 surprise offensive player is none other than Parker Washington, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was maybe an edge wide receiver 2 guy at best coming into the season. In my eyes, here at this show, he solidified himself with Brian Thomas, with the addition of Jacoby Myers, as a pure wide receiver 1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars and for Trevor Lawrence moving forward. Let's take a look at some of his numbers. In 2023 and 2024, so he ended the year in 2023 as a rookie. So in his first 2 seasons, in 23 and 24, he had 48 total catches. In 2025, he had 58 total catches. So he had 10 more catches this season than he did the previous 2 years combined for Jacksonville. Receiving yards. In 23 and 24, he had 522 total receiving yards. In 2025 alone, he had 847. That led the team, ladies and gentlemen, that beat out Jacoby Myers. Obviously, Myers was acquired, near the trade or near halfway through the season. He beat out Brian Thomas Jr. If I told you before the season Parker Washington would outgain Brian Thomas Jr. and they were both healthy essentially the whole year, you'd say that I was smoking dope. You'd say I'm crazy. You would laugh at me. You would laugh at this show. Maybe you still laugh at this show. You know what? That's okay. But Parker Washington led the Jaguars in receiving yards in the 25-26 season. Pretty shocking, right? I would not have thought about that whatsoever, even considered that before the season. In his first 2 years, he had 5 touchdowns. In this season alone, he had 5 touchdowns. So he had 847 yards on the year receiving, led the team. He had 5 touchdowns on the year for the Jags. He had 3 100-yard games this year. In the 2 seasons prior, he had 1 combined. He had 3 in 2025. Parker Washington, that in the playoffs as well, had a 100-yard game in the playoffs against Buffalo. They sadly took the L. He had 107 yards, I believe, and a touchdown come playoff time. I mean, he solidified himself as a wide receiver 1. He solidified himself as Trevor Lawrence's go-to guy, his target in a time of need, right? Trevor Lawrence could trust him the most. Brian Thomas Jr. had one of the a top 10 rookie season for a wide receiver ever. This year he struggled with drops, with confidence, a little bit here and there dinged up with injury. You could tell that he was struggling all year long. Parker Washington stepped up. Guys, this team went 13-4. They won the AFC South. Not mainly, but in big part due to what Parker Washington was able to do with Trevor Lawrence this season. Parker Washington, he wins my surprise offensive standout player. Moving forward, let me ask you this. What defensive player surprised you the most in the 25-26 NFL season? Honorable mention here is Nick Emanwari, the rookie from South Carolina. He balled out this year. That's my honorable mention. Some people may not fully agree with this in terms of it being a surprise. To me, it was. Linebacker/edge, Brian Burns wins my surprise defensive player of the year. We knew what Brian Burns could do, right? In 2024 with the Giants, first year with the Giants, he had 8.5 sacks total. The year before that, he had 8 sacks. Okay? So he has been able in his career to rush the passer effectively. He's been able to get home, not in some, huge way, not in some, oh my God, he's a top 5 edge or linebacker type of way. This season, that changed. So in 2023 and 2024 combined, Brian Burns had 16.5 sacks. In 2025, he had 16.5 sacks. So in his previous 2 seasons combined, he equaled the 1 year he had this season. His total sacks this season. He had 16.5 sacks. That was second best in the NFL. And that was also 4th most in Giants single season history as well. So second in the NFL in sacks. I mean, essentially making Giants history there pretty dang close. He also had a career high 22 tackles for loss. Brian Burns, again, we knew what he was capable of, but he was pretty dominant this year in the 25-26 season, especially for how bad that Giants team was as a whole. Defensively, their struggles mainly can be more seen secondary-wise and more at safety. And with that being said, though, Brian Burns was one of the bright spots for this Giants team as a whole. Yeah, they had some other, big-time pass rushers for sure, but Burns, second in the NFL in sacks, career high in tackles for loss. I mean, he really did surprise me in terms of volume and in terms of kind of putting that Giants pass rush on his back and that defense as a whole. So, yes, we knew Burns was a good player. He kind of solidified himself as a great player this season. Again, his sack total this year matching his previous 2 years combined sack total. Great year from Brian Burns, not from the Giants as a whole, not even close. Brian Burns wins my 2025-2026 surprise defensive player of the year. Because again, we knew what he could do, but this by far exceeded expectations. Second most sacks in the league this year, Brian Burns. All right, now we're getting into some more game-focused awards. Let's get into the best regular season game from the 25-26 NFL season. There's a lot of honorable mentions for this game. So let me just start with those so nobody comes attacking me saying, oh my gosh, you're so wrong. Oh my gosh, this one should have totally won. Honorable mentions. And this first one's going to shock you because you probably think, oh, this had to be the best regular season game of the year on this show. Honorable mentions. Week 16, Rams at Seahawks. Just short in my eyes. To me, on this show, you could have a differing opinion. That's totally fine. That's great. That's dandy. I would hope you do. And we respect that here. Week 16, Rams at Seahawks is an honorable mention. Bears at Bengals, Week 9. Another honorable mention. What a wild game that was. Remember, Colson Loveland, kind of the game-winning touchdown, back and forth in the end. That was nuts. Rams at Eagles, Week 3. The 19-point comeback, I believe, by the Eagles. The blocked field goal taken to the crib for them to cover. Great game as well. Ravens at Bills, Week 1. An instant classic, of course. But none of those are my answer. My answer for the best regular season game in the NFL this past season, Packers at Bears, Week 16. That is my answer for you. Bears down 10 with 5 minutes to play. Santos kicks the field goal. Down 7 with, very little time. Onside kick recovered by Josh Blackwell off the hands, I believe, Romeo Dobbs. Josh Blackwell recovers the onside kick. Jawde Walker touchdown on 4th and 4 to tie the game after the extra point. To essentially tie the game. 4th and 4, game on the line, touchdown. We go to overtime. Malik Willis is in this game, right? Jordan Love got hurt, concussed in the second quarter. So the Bears come screaming back like they have been doing all year long. Not only is it an onside kick, not only is it a 4th and 4 touchdown to go tie the game, then in overtime, the Packers from the Bears' 36-yard line, 4th and 1, fumbled ball. It was like a kind of fumbled ball by Malik Willis. They get the stop. So they come back down. They've been trailing all game. They come back down. They get the big fourth down touchdown. They get the onside kick, all this crazy madness. They stop Green Bay on 4th down from their own 36. And then what happens? You know what happens. It's in contention for play of the year. That's in a little bit as well. The Iceman, 46-yard bomb to DJ Moore for the win. And the implications of this game were massive too. This was to essentially clinch the NFC North. This game was peak. Week 16, Packers at Bears, Saturday night, was the game I felt the most emotion for it not being my team. Right? You guys know my team's the Texans. But I left that game feeling the power, feeling the emotions, feeling the excitement from that ending. Right? I mean, it was unbelievable. To me, that was the game of the year. That gets the award for game of the year to me. The onside kick, the 4th and 4, the rainbow moonshot for the win, not only for potentially the NFC North to clinch it up, not only was it the best rivalry in football, Green Bay and Chicago, it was just absolute cinema. There's really no other way to put it. So those honorable mentions are all valid, especially Seahawks Rams, right, in Week 16 as well. But Packers at Bears, Week 16, takes the cake for me, given all those factors. Just ridiculous. All right. We did the best regular season game. Now let's get into the worst regular season game award of the 25-26 season here at the Swank Tank. It is none other, and this one was pretty clear. There was a few others that were just horrible. This one takes the cake. Week 7, Panthers at Jets. Do you remember this game? You probably don't. And if you don't, God bless you. You've been blessed. Because Panthers won this game 13-6. The Jets lost this game and fell to 0-7 on the year. Panthers win 13-6, Week 7. Panthers at Jets. The Jets were sacked 6 times against the Panthers in this spot. Tyrod Taylor had 126 passing yards in this game. And 2 interceptions. Okay. Bryce Young had 138 total passing yards as well. So barely more than Tyrod Taylor. There were 12 total punts in this game. I mean, you can do 13 plus 6 easily. 19 total points. 12 total punts. And Tyrod Taylor also had 2 interceptions in this spot as well. The Jets had 220 total yards of offense. Total yards of offense. 220. In their own building. And then proceeded to fall to 0-7 on the year. This was by far the hardest watch of the season. There were some other games mixed in there, some big-time blowouts. Remember that Falcons-Panthers blowout in there? Some classic AFC North, brutal, tough watches. Of course, there's other games we can mention. That's that 49ers Seattle game at the end of the year. Rough watch as well. That was a tough game to watch. This one by far took the cake. Because not only was it ugly, it was just slow, monotonous. I mean, any game involving the Jets, let's just be honest, is a hard watch. Especially from this past season. Hard watch. Aaron Glenn, I said this before the season, hated the hire. He needs to get the boot. I don't care what you have to say. It's been 1 year. No. He shouldn't have been hired there in the first place. It's a disaster for the New York Jets. This game is associated with that. Okay. We did best game from the regular season, worst game from the regular season. The best playoff game from the 2026 NFL season award here at the Swank Tank. Honorable mention, Rams at Panthers in the wild card round. I'm sorry to do this, guys. It is Packers at Bears in the divisional round. To me, that was the best playoff game. There was a lot of great ones. The divisional round, the wild card round, was absolute cinema. Bills game, phenomenal. Eagles game, phenomenal. Rams game, phenomenal. I mean, they were all great. Really, really good. That Bills game against Denver in the next round, phenomenal as well. Really, really solid. And obviously, the NFC Championship was really good too. Great ball. Bears game against the Rams, great too. A lot of games you can mention, a lot of games you can maybe select. It's got to be Packers at Bears in the division round. Given the comeback kids doing it yet again. And let's be honest, this Packers-Bears rivalry, I'll repeat. This Packers and Bears rivalry, when these two teams are competitive, when these two teams are competing for a division title, when these two teams are now facing off in the playoffs, it is the NFL at its peak. I can't overemphasize this. The Packers and Bears rivalry is the best rivalry in the NFL. And over previous years, that's been a little bit muted, a little bit dialed down, given the Bears' failures. But when these two teams are competing at the level they're at currently, it's by far the best rivalry in football. It's great for the NFL. It's great for the sport. It's great for the fans. It's great for those two teams because they absolutely hate each other. And there's nothing quite like it. There's not a rivalry quite like that. And so seeing how they performed in the regular season, how the games ended, seeing how this game ended, the Bears coming back down 21-3 at halftime, right? They win this game 31-27. They were down 21-3 at half. Jordan Love had 4 total touchdowns in this game, and they lost. The comeback kids did it yet again in the best rivalry in football. This game, 866 total yards, 32 total points scored in the fourth quarter alone. It was peak. Given the rivalry, given the cold environment, at Soldier Field, given the stakes, all of it. It was just beautiful to watch. I mean, not as a Packers fan, it wasn't. It was classic Matt LaFleur choke. Can't believe you guys are keeping your special teams coordinator over there. Rich Bisaccia, it is. Shout out, Joey. To me, the best playoff game. There was a lot, especially this year. The parity was unbelievable. That was the best playoff game in the 2025-26 season. And it's the best rivalry in sports. In football, in the NFL, that's for sure. All right. The worst playoff game from the 2025-2026 NFL season. Honorable mention, 49ers at Seahawks. Swank, why is it not 49ers at Seahawks? Was that the NFC? No. In the divisional round. Why was it not that? Because that still had some electric plays. Shaheed taking it to the crib from the first play of the game alone makes this not the worst game because that one play already had more fireworks than this entire game I'm about to tell you. Chargers at Patriots, by far, takes the cake for the worst playoff game from the 25-26 season. A lot of these games, like 95% of them, were fantastic. This one game really stands out for how poor it was. Simply put, 16-3 final score. Chargers were 1 of 10 on third down. They had 207 total yards. They had 0 points in the first quarter, both teams combined, so the score was 0-0. Just a slow, hard watch. And every single play in that game, you knew the Chargers were going to lose. I felt increasingly more and more confident in the Patriots by the snap in that game. if man Justin Herbert struggled yet again in the playoffs. Yes, his offensive line was a mess. That was well known. But if man Justin Herbert wasn't doing them any favors, Mike Vrabel was dialing up the pressure. Bloodbath in Foxborough in the wild card round, New England versus LA Chargers. I mean, 16-3 by far, the worst playoff game from the 25-26 season. Easily, right? I think you'd agree. 3 more awards coming your way. It's time. The award for the best singular play in the 2025-2026 NFL season here at the Swank Tank. It is indeed the 2-point conversion Week 16 Rams at Seahawks. I don't think we're ever going to see a play like this. Guys, there's other plays obviously that were fantastic. The Bears had a lot of them, right? There's some big-time playoff plays that can be mentioned. I mean, this had to be the biggest play, the best play of the 25-26 season. To tie the game with 6:23 left in the fourth quarter, the backwards pass by Sam Darnold on the 2-point conversion to tie the game versus the Rams, the division rival, lots on the line, potential NFC West title on the line. The backwards pass off the helmet that then moves forward enough into the end zone to then be picked up nonchalantly by Zach Charbonnet, to then be called, oh, of course that's no good, incomplete, to then, wait a second, it was indeed a backwards pass, hit off the helmet. Then, guys, keep in mind, that ball could not be advanced forward by Seattle. It's not allowed. A backwards pass, if not completed, cannot be advanced by the offensive team. That ball, the only way they could have succeeded is if that ball ended up somehow in the end zone, being thrown backwards. It ended up, 5 yards forward? 4 yards forward? Whatever that is, from that spot of the backwards pass. I don't think we're ever going to see a play like this, people. Not only was the play insane, the stakes were insane. It led to one of the best comebacks of the entire season. It tied the game at 30 with 6 minutes to go. Seattle would then win it in overtime. Seattle would then go on to win, the NFC West title. Seattle would then go on to win the Super Bowl. That play had an unbelievable amount of implications. Again, we wouldn't know that at the time necessarily. There's a chance we never see a play like that again. Ever. How does a backwards pass end up in the end zone without anybody really touching it? In that spot, in this situation, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The implications were insane. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think we ever will. That play wins the 25-26 Best Play Award here at the Swank Tank. 2 more awards to give out. We just did the Best Play of the season. I'm sorry, we have to. The Worst Play Award. The Worst Play Award of the 25-26 season here at the Swank Tank. It could be the Jalen Hurts double turnover against the Chargers, where he threw the pick and then he fumbled it. Definitely is up there as one of the worst play. But no, it is the DeMercado fumble before the end zone. I'll break it down for you just in case you forgot. This was, I believe, week 5. It was week 5. Cardinals at home versus Titans. Titans were 0-4 at the time. So the 0-4 Titans traveling to I believe it was the 2-2 Cardinals, week 5. Guys, the Cardinals were up 21-6 in this exact moment. DeMercado takes the handoff. It was like a 60-yard run to the crib to very much put the dagger in this game, ice it away. They were already up 15 during this play versus the 0-4 Titans in the fourth quarter, with like 13 minutes to go. DeMercado, a yard shy of the goal line. I mean, we've seen it before. In the NFL, we've seen it a lot in college. Players dropping the ball before the goal line. You got L'Jarius Sneed chasing him down. DeMercado's right before he extends and right before he reaches the end zone, decides, I'll just drop it. I'll celebrate early. Sneed recognizes it. He kind of like taps it a little bit, and it goes through the back of the end zone. Goes through the back of the end zone for a touchback. They go on to lose this game 22-21. So not only was the play horrendous, I mean, this is a professional athlete in the NFL dropping the ball short of the goal line for then it to be a touchback. They were up 15 in the fourth quarter versus the 0-4 Titans in their own building. And then they blow it. They blow it. And then you got former head coach Jonathan Gannon absolutely laying into you on the sideline. It went viral. He got fined for yelling at him so much. This was just by far the worst play of the 2025-2026 NFL season. Not only the play itself, the implications of the play on the game. Being up 15, choking the lead away, getting yelled at the sideline, and having your head coach get fined for it. Just yikes. Yikes. I'm sorry, DeMercado. You win an award at least. I'm sorry. I'm actually a fan of him, but at least he won an award for it here at the Swank Tank. So a little round of applause for DeMercado. I'm sorry. I mean, that was just a brutal play. Brutal. All right. Last award we'll give out on this episode. The biggest surprise team of the 25-26 NFL season here at the Swank Tank. You probably, off the rip, are thinking New England. I have plenty of clips to show you. I expected New England. Okay, I did not expect New England to be in the Super Bowl. Hand up. Obviously did not. I did tell you before the season even started, I wouldn't be shocked if New England made the playoffs. I said that. You can go watch my old videos. It's out there. I posted about it several times. So New England, while they shocked me making the Super Bowl, their overall success in general did not shock me. Carolina, I also mentioned them to be a dark horse to potentially make some noise in the NFC and make the playoffs. So yes, they exceeded maybe some of y'all's expectations. To me, I somewhat expected them to maybe have a big rebound year. We were right on both of those, guys. We really were. There's proof. Go watch the old videos. It's out there. It's out there. So we're going to go with this team. The Jacksonville Jaguars were my surprise team for the 25-26 season. They went 13-4. They won the AFC South for the first time since 2022. And talent-wise, they had a lot of the pieces already there. But you look at them in the offseason, they go and hire Bucs offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, okay? Year one. You go and get a really, really young GM in James Gladstone. You go and make a really aggressive move for Hunter, right? And Hunter then, Travis Hunter proceeds to the Heisman, right? You have the first-year head coach. You have the first-year GM. You go and make a really aggressive move for Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter. Alongside that, Trevor Lawrence hasn't been able to take the big step. He just entered year 5, right, for this past season. Year 5. Hasn't been able nearly to take the leap or be the man, be the leader, be the quarterback that this organization has been looking for in one of the best prospects ever coming out of college. So factoring all these things in, this was very much a surprising season for me. I mean, I could have seen them winning 8, 9, 10 games. 13-4, would not have believed you. If you told me before the year, given all these changes, given the new GM, given first-year head coach Liam Cohen, given the way Travis Etienne last year was treated, given the way Trevor Lawrence had been playing the past 2 years, inconsistent football, right? Along with that, I mean, your first-round pick, a guy you traded up to get in Travis Hunter, misses half the season. So you factor in all of those things, and that's a lot of factors. This team went 13-4, people, in a tough division. People didn't think the AFC South would be that competitive. Granted, it's not the best division in football. It was definitely not the worst division. Texans went 12-5. Colts went 8-9, but at a point were one of the best teams in the league. Titans are terrible, but 3 of the 4 teams were very, very competitive. Very competitive. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, for me, going 13-4, given all the factors I literally just mentioned and broke down for you, were my surprise team for the 25-26 season. Again, I expected New England to make some noise this year. I expected the Panthers to make some noise this year. Obviously, I didn't have New England in my Super Bowl, right? But I did expect them to make the playoff. I thought they definitely could have gotten there. Panthers as well. So the Jags win that award for me. Mention for a surprise team as well, but in the reverse manner, is a team that kind of let me down. By far, did not exceed expectations. More of a letdown, for sure. Underperformed the Ravens, easily. Didn't win the division, didn't make the playoffs, went 8-9. On paper, was supposed to be one of the best teams in the league this year. Bunch of injuries on defense. couldn't stop a cold on defense for like 8 weeks there. Matabuke out for the year. Lamar Jackson in and out of the lineup. Lamar Jackson not being able to scramble how he wanted. Turmoil all over. Weapons not being that great for Lamar. A lot of reasons ended up biting them in the butt. But, I mean, the Ravens not making the playoffs was definitely a big surprise for me. 100%. But my biggest surprise team by far, the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 25-26 season. That is going to wrap up this episode 39 of the Swank Tank. Just some fun awards thrown out there, some good season recaps, some surprise players, surprise games, great playoff games, most fun player to watch, biggest surprise team, all that good stuff, man. It's just fun. It's fun kind of recapping the 25-26 season in this way. And what a season it was. What a season it was. What an offseason it already is. Guys, the new schedule, if you're not aware, every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. A new offseason, quote offseason, because there's not an offseason every year, episode will be out for you on YouTube and Spotify. We're working on getting it on to Apple Podcasts as well. So a lot of things in the works. Daily content, weekly episodes, NFL only, 24/7, 365. That's all we are here at the Swank Tank. Once we hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, I'm going to be doing a big, newer intro video to what the show is, what we're doing during the offseason, what we've already done in the previous season. I appreciate you guys so much. Keep tapping in. Keep tuning in. We got a lot of things coming your way. A lot of improvements. A lot of great content coming your way. Don't go anywhere. The Swank Tank, NFL only, 24/7, 365. We will see you next week. Stay on the lookout for all that daily content. See you then.